all you. Congratulations, honor roll, grade 10. Awesome job. Let me see grade 11. See how many, whoa, grade 11. You got it. Good job. Oh. Listen, there's a reason why I have grade 10 and grade 11 here today at this particular assembly. You guys are the middle of the road. You're going to be here for a couple more years. It is really on you to help us build back the community that we had, the community that was interrupted by the pandemic. And the way that we all do that is we do that together by working on, celebrating our positivity, celebrating your success, your achievements. It is your school. It's here for you. So that's why we had to think about what we were going to do for the honor roll assembly for February. I was like, well, it's February. We haven't done a Black History celebration in a long time, so it was a natural mix, right, of how we can really celebrate. Because what does Black History call on us to do? It calls on all of us as Americans, to really look at, lift up, and celebrate the contributions of African Americans throughout history. So that's how we build community. We celebrate this. I celebrate you, and I want to toss it right now. We have a special guest, the Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Michael Thomas, is here to celebrate with us. So, Superintendent.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I will not be long. Proud graduate, 1987 of Brockton High School, and I just want to congratulate you for making the honor roll. One thing great about Brockton, and especially Brockton High School, I worked here for 10 years, I graduated from here, and the best part of it is our diversity. So celebrating you as honor roll students using the Black History Month celebration is amazing, because we celebrate Black history every day in the Brockton Public Schools because of you. This great, wonderful, diverse group of young people who are going to go on to change the world and make it a better, more equitable place for everyone. So I thank you for your hard work, especially during this very difficult time of the pandemic. You're dealing with a lot. I never had to lose out on school. I never had to do school at home through a computer. I probably wouldn't have done that. I probably would have been doing other things like playing basketball and hanging out. I would have not have sat home on the computer. So I commend you for how much work you have done to make the honor roll, and I congratulate you. We celebrate you today, and I look forward to this wonderful celebration. I want to thank Michael Smith. I want to thank Matt Cunningham and everybody else who put this together, Principal Burns and the administrators and teachers at Brockton High. So thank you, and next week, please enjoy a nice, quiet week off. Congratulations.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mr. Cunningham. I'm the choral director here. I want to echo what Mr. Thomas and Ms. Burns said. Congratulations on your accomplishment. I'm a proud graduate of Brockton High myself, class of '08. And this is the Brockton High Concert Choir here on stage. We have a few pieces for you today. Our first piece is called If I Can Help Somebody. It was written in 1945 by Alma, Basil, and Drazo. It became one of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s favorite hymns because the lyrics really reflected his mission in life, to help other people. And he wanted to be remembered for his service and not necessarily his accomplishments and his fame, but how he helped other people. This piece will feature a solo by senior Khalil Calendar.
We will now have an explanation and the history of Black History Month. This will be done by Samantha and Tamika.
February is Black History Month.
This month-long observance in the U.S. and Canada is a chance to celebrate Black achievements and provide a fresh reminder to take stock of where systematic racism persists and give visibility to the people and organizations creating change.
How did Black History Month begin?
Black History Month first began as Negro History Week, created in February 1926 by Carter G. Woodson, known as the father of Black history. This historian helped establish the first field of African American studies, and his organization, the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, aimed to encourage people of all ethnic and social backgrounds to discuss the Black experience. His organization was later renamed the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, and is currently the oldest historical society established for the promotion of African American history. Why is Black History Month in February?
February was chosen by Woodson for the week-long observance as it coincides with the birth dates of both former U.S. President Abraham Lincoln and social reformer Frederick Douglass. Both men played a significant role in helping to end slavery. Woodson also understood that members of the Black community already celebrated the births of Douglass and Lincoln and sought to build on those existing traditions. He was asking the public to extend the study of Black history, not to create a new tradition. How did Black History Month become a national month of celebration?
By the late 1960s, thanks to the part in the Civil Rights Movement and a growing awareness of Black identity, Negro History Week was celebrated by mayors in cities across the country. Eventually, the event evolved into Black History Month on many college campuses. In 1976, President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month. In his speech, President Ford urged Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. Since his administration, every American president has recognized Black History Month and its mission. But it wasn't until Congress passed National Black History Month into law in 1986 that many in the country began to observe it formally. The law aimed to make all Americans aware of the struggle for freedom and equal opportunity. Why is Black History Month celebrated?
Initially, Black History Month was a way of teaching students and young people about Black and African Americans' contributions. Such stories have been largely forgotten and were a neglected part of the national narrative. Now, it's seen as a celebration of those who've impacted not just the country, but the world with their activism and achievements. In the United States, the month-long spotlight during February is an opportunity for people to engage with Black history, go beyond discussions of racism and slavery, and highlight Black leaders and accomplishments. Is Black History Month celebrated anywhere else?
In Canada, it's celebrated in February. In countries like the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Ireland, they celebrate it in October. In Canada, African-Canadian Parliament member Jean Augustine mentioned for Black History Month in 1995 to bring awareness to Black Canadians' work. When the UK started celebrating Black History Month in 1987, it focused on Black American history. Over time, there has been more attention on Black British history. Now it is dedicated to honoring African people's contributions to the country. It's UK's mission statement: dig deeper, look closer, and think bigger. If you don't know, now you know.
Our next piece on the program by the concert choir is a piece called I Am Power. And in the sheet music, the composer, Mark Burrows, writes, quote, "To all the young people, I believe with all my heart that you are our next great generation. You have seen, experienced, and overcome so much. You are compassionate. You are resilient. You are more powerful than you may know. A few years ago, my teenage daughters took me to my first protest march. The young people in the march were at the front, leading the way. The rest of us, parents, friends, teachers, advocates, followed. There were loud songs and chants, but every once in a while, those would give way to the sound of the marching itself. Thousands of feet hitting the pavement over and over and over. It was so persistent, so purposeful. It was the sound of people on a mission to demand meaningful change. This is I Am Power. It will feature Esther Onyeka Jr. on solo and Noah Goget on percussion.
I know white Americans joined in nonviolent protest of the widespread discrimination throughout the country. Sit-ins, the northern lunch counters, and marches through the South drew national attention. So had the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, who emerged as a symbol of the nonviolent movement. The confrontations were not always peaceful, and marchers were often met with police dogs, fire hoses, and sometimes even murder. Some blacks were impatient with nonviolent tactics, like Stokely Carmichael.
We will define black power. He will listen and recognize it. That's all. That's all. So you are not to be worried about their debates about violence. You want to tell them this. If you don't want any trouble, keep your filthy white hands on our beautiful.
Despite the race riots of the late 60s, not everyone would accept the radical viewpoint.
In the movement, A. Philip Randolph, president of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, Roy Wilkins, executive secretary of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Walter Reuther of the AFL-CIO, and the Reverend Martin Luther King head the march down Constitution Avenue to the Lincoln Memorial. A parallel group proceeds down Independence Avenue.
Braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace in the norms and notions of what just is.
Afternoon, can you hear me? All right, here we go. Good afternoon. It is such an honor to be here with you. My name is Renee Haywood. I'm the Executive Director of the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion for the district, and I'm so proud of you all. I'm so proud of what you've accomplished in the midst of so much that's going on. So you all should really be commended for being here, and of course on such an amazing occasion of Black History Month. So I'm so glad that someone had the insight to have such a celebration and combine the two, because they mean so much. When I was asked to talk about why it's important that we celebrate Black History Month in school, I mean, there's so many reasons that I can list. It's important to undo negative narratives and messages that we learn in and outside of school. When I was in school, I didn't learn a lot of positive things about Black people. Back in my day, we learned about slavery and civil rights. Our U.S. history books had a short unit on those topics, but they were very limited and frankly one-sided. The slavery unit depicted Black people as Africans who were not seen as fully human, who couldn't be educated, and who were just made for manual labor.
I believed that to be true. I didn't know any better, and it limited my perceptions of what I could do and what I could be. Then there was the Civil Rights Movement, and the stories were limited to Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and a few others, and the stories that were told depicted them as passive. There was someone named Malcolm X, and that was mentioned, but quickly passed over. There were no opportunities to have discussions that pushed our critical thinking and that allowed us to be engaged in discussions that prepared us for the time when we'd be beyond the four walls of the schoolhouse. But then I had some teachers, similar to what you might have. Miss Landerholm and her group of history teachers. I think you have Mr. Harewood, did I get that name right? There's so many great history teachers that have come together and have put some amazing lessons together for you for Black History Month, and I'm sure some of that is still going to be embedded throughout the year. And so those teachers, like the ones that you have, I had a few of those, and my family who told me the real story about Black History Month. I learned that my ancestors weren't people that needed saving, but people so strong they were able to overcome so much oppression and adversity. Learning about Black History Month flipped the narrative for me. I learned that Rosa Parks was a teacher, and she didn't give up her seat because she was tired. She was tired of giving in. She ended up being the first woman to lie in honor at the US Capitol as a final tribute when she died in 2005. I learned about the Black Panthers and that they contributed to what we now know as a free breakfast program. They knew that kids can't learn if they're hungry. So when you eat that breakfast, then now it's moved on even into lunch. Think about that. Think about how something started and now it's nationwide. That there's a concern for hungry kids, feeding their hunger so that they can learn. Celebrating Black History Month is important not just for Black people. Again, we're trying to undo negative narratives and messages that are even embedded in our language with words like blacklisted, black male, black magic, and so many others. We're trying to undo negative narratives and messages that we receive from the media that perpetuate stereotypes. There's so much about our history that has been forgotten, twisted, and left out. Those brave teachers and my family exposed me to the wonderful history of my people. Not just those who were gifted in sports or those who were great performers, but also scientists and inventors and movers and shakers. So now when I see a traffic light, a cell phone, a potato chip, a home security system, a folding chair, a lawnmower, and the super soaker, I know that a Black person had something to do with that. We're more than overcomers. We are a people rich with cultural wealth, spiritual grounding, and we use joy as a tool for resilience. How many times have you used laughter just to get through the day? We have these jokes that we might tell, or it just might be a look that breaks up the day, breaks up the tension of the day. So as you're seeing in the hallways, if you see folks doing that, just let it ride, because they're releasing their joy as a tool of resilience. Black History Month is so much more than 28 days. Blackness is embedded in our American culture and should be appreciated, not appropriated, and celebrated and not canceled. As I close, I think about my own Black history. My great-grandmother, who in the 1940s became the first Black woman to own her own business in Boston's Grove Hall, opening La Newton School of Beauty Culture. Her goal was to pay it forward by teaching women a skill that would help them support their families. Knowing my history showed me what I can do and what I can be. I just needed someone to tell me this story, to celebrate with me. So for all of us who are in this room, what will we do with what we learn about Black history and other cultures throughout the year? Will that delete the stereotypes you have about yourself and others? Will you take what you learn and share it to dismantle racial biases? Because we can learn a whole lot of things. And when the month is over, we can go back to business as usual. But the choice is yours. Will you shine? Will you let your light shine? Will you pass it on to other folks so that this world can be what it should be, what it was created to be, so that we're loving each other and we're not separating. We celebrate ourselves, yes, but we can come together and celebrate each other. That's the gift that Brockton has. That's our power. That's our superpower, our diversity, and our care for one another. And I love the song that you all sang, I Am Power, because it speaks about peace, purpose, and power. We can bring peace wherever we are. We all have a purpose, and we walk in power. How will you use your power? It's up to you to choose. Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, everybody. So today I'm reading excerpts from one of Langston Hughes' main poems called Let America Be America Again, where he's not only just talking about the message of POCs, but of everybody in America being held under and working hard and keeping hope to reach that goal. Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain seeking a home where he himself is free. America was never America to me. Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great strong land of love, where never kings connive nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free. Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark, and who are you that draws your veil across the stars? I am the poor white fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery's scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways of satisfying need, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed. Yet I am the one who dreamt our basic dream. In the old world, while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings in every brick and stone, in every furrow turned, that's made America the land it has become. Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been yet, and yet must be. The land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again.
Broadway's Fences, famously starring Viola Davis My monologue comes from Fences, and it is given from the character Troy, that was played by Denzel Washington. And I want the message of this monologue to sit with you. It doesn't matter whether someone likes you or not, but it matters when they respect you. Like you. I get out of here every morning. Bust my butt. Deal with them crackers every day. Because I like you? You're about the biggest fool I've ever seen. You live in my house, sleeping behind on my bedclothes. Fill your belly with my food. Because you're my son. It's my job. It's my duty to take care of you. Mr. Rand, don't give me money come payday because he likes me. He owes me. I didn't give you everything I ever had to give you. I give you your life. Me and your mama worked that out between us. And liking your black ass wasn't part of the deal. Don't go around life wondering if people like you or not. Best be making sure they're doing right by you. You understand me, boy? See you.
As we mentioned before, there is so much talent at this school that for those of you that would like to join the music department or the theater department, see Mr. Cunningham, Mr. Hogan, Mr. Fantuccio, Mr. Cardell, come by and see me. We have so many offerings, and next year, as juniors and seniors, there'll be many more offerings. So if some of what you see excites you and you want to be a part of this, come join the music department. Our last presentation is this afternoon. Mr. Cunningham and the concert chorus will now sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. For those of you that have followed the news, this has been in the news lately because there are people that are pushing for the Negro National Anthem to be sung immediately behind the national anthem. And there are people that are fighting that. So, become knowledgeable, watch the news and see what happens. There are people pushing for this song to become a part of the national fabric. And as you listen to the words are applicable now as they were when they were first composed by James Wendell Johnson. Lift every voice and sing, not just a few, not just one or two, but lift every voice and sing.
Every voice
Everybody, let's give it up one more time for the concert choir. I saw them this morning and even better this afternoon. So the amount of work and time that takes to put together that performance for everybody, I have to commend you and thank you, and really, you represent us so well. As did everyone out in the audience today. When I talk about community, that's what I'm talking about. When we celebrate together and we celebrate the positive things, that's what makes Brockton High a great place to go to school. So I have the best job in the world. I am so proud to be here, so proud to be your principal. I want you to keep doing what you're doing. If you have friends that might be on the edge, encourage them. Bring them with you. If you're talking about lifting every voice, lift your friends so we can fill this auditorium next time with all of the 10th and 11th graders. Right? We want to get more and more of you really up there and in this assembly with all of us today. I want to thank you again. You've been a great crowd. We're going to end this with Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. And after that, we'll be on time for dismissal. And I thank you again for all of your hard work for the first half of the year and all the hard work we're going to do for the remainder of the year. And we will have another assembly for term 3, and it's going to rock. So thank you, everybody.
Dr. Martin Luther King, J.R. For freedom in the history of our nation. Years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. This nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. raises you out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the